Hey guys, this is my second time recording this, but hey, this is my first part of a tutorial series on basic Rayman movements in Rayman Legends. And it's not like that basic, but like, you know, the essentials of Rayman movements before you get into like the advanced stuff. I hopefully will later on also get into individual levels, how to actually get through them with using the techniques that I teach throughout this series. But anyway, you might have noticed in the title that this is going to be teaching the YBY or YYB Tech, which is the name that it has been given and it's kind of now attached. I don't really like the name too much, but that's what it is. And the reason it's called that is because, at least on the Wii U version, that's how those are the buttons that you use to actually execute the technique in the order you use them. So, if you're not familiar with this concept already, but if you're not familiar with this, which is called spin jumping, is when you do a dash like this, it gives you a speed boost. And if you want to carry on that speed boost, you have to jump out of it, like that. And you just chain them across a flat surface, like this. But, what the YBY Tech is basically a variation of a spin jump. And what I mean by that is that it's, well, it's this. Like that. It still has the same general uses as a normal spin jump, but it has a few extra quirks to it. So first, before I actually get into that, I'm going to tell you how to actually do it. So you might notice that in a spin jump like that, when I press, like, look at my button prompts on the bottom left of the corner of the screen right now, and you'll see that when I spin and press A basically in quick succession, I still have to wait for the spin animation to spin for a certain amount of time before it actually lets me jump out of it. So, as you can see, I press YA on my game controller real quickly. But no matter how fast I press them, it's always gotta do a little bit of the spin animation before it actually lets me jump. And during that window of time where you're still on the ground spinning, you could buffer multiple inputs. So if you do a spin, and then you buffer both attack and jump at the same time, or in any order or whatever, as long as you press both of those buttons during the spin animation before you jump, you will get a spin. YBY. Like that. So that's my order you're in. So if I press YYB, or YYA in my case, it'll still do the YBY Tech. And if I press YAY, that wasn't it. Like that. It does it. And if I press Y and then YA together at the same time, like that, it still does it. It doesn't matter what order you press it in, it will give you the same exact results. But there are some cases that you want to delay the kick that comes from it. So if you, there's only one way of really doing that. You can't really do that by pressing YAY. Because, you need to be buffering the attack before you jump. And if you could still buffer inputs for attack after, well, like during the entire length of the dash animation at some point afterward as well. But the jump input can't be buffered, can only be buffered, like, you know, at the very beginning of it. So you have to do the YYA input, the attack, jump input. There's no other way of doing that. So if you want to extend the dash like that, where you still do most of your dash input, well, dash, like, when I say dash, by the way, I also mean spin. Spin and dashing in this game is the same exact thing. It's just two different communities had different ways of naming it. Anyway, I won't get into that. But if I want to delay the kick that comes from the dash, I have to press dash, and then near the end of the dash animation, I press YA in quick succession, like this. If you pay attention to my button prompts on the bottom left, like that. I wait. I don't press YYA a quick succession altogether. Press Y first, then wait a little bit, and then press YA, and then I'll be doing most of the spin animation, and then do the kick. You might be asking why you want to be doing this technique anyway, like, why not just do, like, a normal spin jump? Well, YBY has some special quirks to it. You might have noticed that when you do it, you do an air kick. And also, when you do that air kick, you don't lose speed, because if you do an air kick in the air, you obviously lose speed, and you don't carry momentum, and you just lose time when you do that. But also when you do this, your air kick doesn't stall you in the air, you just do a normal jump. So when you do a normal air kick in the air, it stalls you in the air, like that. But when you do it like this, you don't stall in the air, you just do an air kick. Without slowing down, and you don't stall, which is cool. And it still has its hitbox, which is also very cool. So if you want to use it offensively, like if you do a dash, but there's an enemy like right here, and your dash animation just ran out, but you don't want to slow down to attack them, you just do the YBY Tech, and you killed him like that. But the other thing about the YBY Tech is that it's, if you look at my spin jump here, a normal short hop spin jump, and notice the heights that a short hop gives you. It gets to about the bottom of the rim of that grill on the background there, as you can see. But when you do the YBY, you go way lower. You have a lot less airtime. So if you want to do an extra short hop in your dash jump, that's when you want to use the YBY Tech. Whoops. Like that. You have less airtime, and you have less of a jump height as well. And the reason I'm in this level is because there's a cycle up ahead that I have to make, and the only way to get to it is to get there really fast. And I found a consistent way of doing that for me anyway. Well, semi-consistent. Like, it's the most consistent way for me. There's several other ways, but you know. Here's how I like to do it, and it involves using YBY Tech. Like that. So basically what I did there was when I ground pounded here, it put me in the right spots to do a YBY to attack this enemy without slowing down too much. Oops. That's what happens if you don't do YBY, he would just kick you. But if you do it like this, it allows you to get through that section real quickly and make the cycle. So it's really fast and allows you to not go around the long way. And there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of other ways of using YBY. It's a very, very flexible and what's the word I'm looking for here? Versatile. It's a very versatile technique that you can use in pretty much any level. Like, every level probably has a place where you can use the YBY technique, and have it be the optimal way of using it. Like, it's a very, very useful technique. You just gotta get creative with it. It's definitely one of the most useful, basic ways of moving around with Rayman. And by the way, if you didn't already notice, the level I'm in is called Infiltration Station, just in case you wanted to try this yourself. But anyway, with that, I think I'll go ahead and end this video. I try to keep it short because it's not necessarily a really complicated technique. Really, it's just 3 buttons you have to press to actually execute it properly. As well as holding the sprint button, of course. If you don't hold sprint, you won't be able to do any of it, obviously. Hopefully that was self-explanatory, because I didn't say to do that at all. But anyway, with that, try to keep it short. Hope it is short. I didn't really keep track of time too much. There's a lot of blank space I'll be cutting out, but yeah. The next part, I will be going over roll jumping and just rolling in general. As you can see here. Next part. I'll see you guys later. One thing I did forget to mention was a couple variations of YBY. I won't be going into everything, obviously, because some of them are actually more advanced. I'll definitely go over them a lot later. Like, for example, this is a variation, technically, because it's still similar inputs, but it's, you know, very, very different at the same time. So I'll go over that later. But there's some variations that are basically the same thing. Like this, and like this, whoops, like that, and like this. And basically those are just alternating directions during the dash animation. So if you hold up during the dash animation before you actually do the YBY, you can do different types of air kicks and aerial attacks, basically, while doing YBY. So doing it up will give you the up air attack, obviously. Doing it backwards would do that, and doing it down would be like that, and YBY down has a lot more uses. I'll just be getting into that stuff later. It's just not stuff I'll be teaching right at the very beginning. That's more advanced stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.